Hello, this is Melissa the Stamp Doc, and today I've got a fun project for you using the Counting Sheep stamp set and sheep dies. We're going to start with a 4¼ by 5½ inch piece of basic white cardstock. You'll notice that I drew a line there at the top. That's not a necessary step, but I did that so that you could see where I'm lining that up at. I had to remove my pad from my stamp positioner because those are red rubber stamps and they didn't need that. So I'm stamping the sheep very close to the top of that line. And what I'm wanting to do is keep part of the sheep off the edge of the card. So I put that line there so I could visualize where that's going to cut off. So like I said, you don't have to do the line, but I did it for the purpose of the video for you to kind of visualize that a little better. And then you can always erase that later. So it does make it easy, but again, you don't need it. So I had to put my pad back in to stamp the happy birthday. And the happy birthday is from the Biggest Wish stamp set. And this is one of my new favorites. So this is a photopolymer set. And I'm stamping that with black memento ink. And just to make sure that I get really good coverage, I'm actually going to stamp that several times just to make sure that's good and a dark black. So you can see I did that multiple times. Now we want to take this piece over to our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and you'll see I'm lining up my dies with those images we stamped earlier. And I'm going to put just a little sticky note over those to hold them in place. Now I'm still keeping my line visualized, and what we're going to do when we go to cut that, we're going to put the cutting plate down to that line, but not over that line, so that when it goes through the machine, it only cuts where the plate is over the die. So you can see that other end is not covered by the plate. So let me bring that through, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So we're going to pull those off. And as you can see, that cut most of that top part. So I'm going to bring my paper trimmer in. And again, this is another reason why that line makes it a little easier, because you're going to cut on that line in between those sheep images. If you're not comfortable doing that with the paper trimmer, you could also do that with your paper snips. And you'll see I actually do that just a little bit on this one where there was a tight spot. So just grab those if you're more comfortable with that. And then you're just going to want to erase those lines so that you're ready to go with that. So we get those erased. And again, if you didn't use those, you don't have to have those at all. So now we're going to color our sheep. And I'm going to start by just laying down some grass. And I'm doing this with the dark Granny Apple Green. And I'm just kind of doing a darker layer there right below those. And then I'm going to blend that down with some of the light Granny Apple Green. And I'm just doing a really quick coloring on this. I'll show you a more stepped up version at the very end. What's great about this is that those sheep stamp set, the Counting Sheep stamp set, and the sheep dies are both part of our celebration during the month of August and September 2021. So you can get both of those free with a $50 purchase. So essentially, if you spend $100, you can get those both free. So it's a great way to kind of add to your collection. Now, as I'm coloring these sheep, I keep this really simple. So this is a smoky slate Stampin' Blend, and I'm just going around the edge of the sheep. Now, if you want to see the more advanced version of this, I've got great pictures on my blog. So just go visit thestampdoc.com and you'll be able to see the stepped up version of this also. And then I'm using the ivory on their faces and basic black on their little hoofs. So I'm just kind of getting all of that colored in very simply and very quickly. And then I take the color lifter and I just bring that color into the center. It lightens up that smoky slate so it's not quite as harsh. So it just gives a little bit softer look to that. and I do the same thing on their faces. So once you've got all of this colored, you're going to be ready to add it to a folded card. So mine here is 4x4, and then I also have the stepped up version here. So be sure to check out my blog if you'd like to see more. Thanks for watching.